The request is if you can put franchise Shane Douglas right here.
You got it. God, I see stuff said, but it still blows me away.
I know.
Blows me away, honestly. It's just crazy. You know, he was just a little couple words about him because
Yeah, please. I was actually going to ask you at some point because, you know, you guys were on the rise at a similar time, you know, spent a lot of ring time with each other, if you could.
ton. He initially, you can tell when someone doesn't like you, and we always had great matches, but I could tell there was sort of some kind of a wall there, and I didn't want there to be. I certainly, there you go, honey.
Check that out, Bill.
Spear anywhere? So.
No, it looks like that because of the barbed wire, but it looks great. Check that out, Bill.
But, when I was brought into the business by Dominic taught us, you call the person their shoot name. And so I would, do the same as Dominic had taught me. And one day I went up to the Sabu and I said, is there heat between us? Am I doing? Because if so, I'm not trying to, I apologize. And he said, first he said there was no heat. And then when I explained to him, he said, hey, he wouldn't look at me. You call me Terry. I said, well, that's your name. He said, no, I'm Sabu. I said, yeah, but you're I'm Sabu. And I got it. Like, he was living the gimmick. He was in character. Even though I was tactically, I'd known the other, people that were like that. And so never called him that again. And then he also he never let me do my shit. And I thought, what's he talking about? Every time I wrestle, he puts me through a table, gives me a triple jump moonsault, does this, does that, throws a chair at me. My son, the week after he died, had found a clip of me and Sabu, like highlight reel. And Sabu would do the Arabian face buster with steel chair off the top rope and he hit free to go, did that hurt? No. Did that hurt? And I told him, I said, only the third punch. 1, 2, every third punch is a tater here. Sorry. 1, 2, sorry. Never once did he ever potato me with a chair, face buster, table, any of that stuff. He was taking the brunt of that on his body. And I'd never seen anybody sell the wrong move before. When I watched him do it, I was like, oh my, mind blowing. That makes so much sense. It's brilliant. But for me, working with him, all we had to do was set up whatever, the triple jump moonsault, set up the Arabian face buster, set up whatever. The fans are getting ready to blow because they know what he does, and cut him off. Each time you bring those fans up and down, up and down, up and down. And you got to be real careful. You can take it too long. If you get it right to that point, you can tell the fans won't take another second of this. I'd look at him in the ring or some point and say, hit your shit, big boy. And he wouldn't blow the roof off the place. Because he was so explosive, the fans knew what he could do. All I had to do was let's keep cutting him off, frantic, cut him off. And then sooner or later, blow the roof off the place. Once I explained that to him, we never had a problem again after that. I watched that last match, just my sidebar on this for a second. That night, my buddy Ned and Moose, my manager, had gone to the show. I was exhausted. It was fourth and day we were in Vegas. I was exhausted. He wouldn't have known I was there anyways. The place was sold out and the dressing room was crammed with people. They came in later that night and Moose first. I said, I wasn't. And Moose went and pointed to Ned and Ned went, dude, fucking Sabu was back. Great, fantastic. I figured it would be. But then that next week, my son showed me that video, and the next video that popped up was the match. I said, oh, you gotta watch that. I've been in the ring 1,000 times with Sabu. I am very well acquainted with what Sabu does not do, how he moves in the ring. And 4 or 5 minutes into it, with tears in my eyes, I told him, stop the video. I couldn't watch it anymore. It was heartbreaking. Why a man that's made that much money for our industry, you getting this splice in the hairs or whatever, he should have been better with his money, could have this, could have that. I would also argue Sabu probably made a pittance to what some of the other guys in the business at the same time made. This isn't a clarion call for anybody saying, you need to this or you have to that. But for a business that just sold for $9+ billion, you're going to tell me that a guy 60 years old should be in a barbed wire match like that? And anybody that gets to get my medical school talk here, training, anybody that gets hit in the head, a 20-year-old falls 5-6 feet on the concrete and busts their head up and gets blacked out, needs to go to the hospital. There could be an intracranial bleed. There could be 1,000 different things that go wrong. Why Sabu could not go to the ring or to the hospital is because he had no insurance. And you show up at a hospital at 1 o'clock in the morning with a potential head injury, you're talking buku bucks.
Yeah.
Shame on our business, right? A man is potentially gone because of that. And I think if there's, in this world of equity and all this other stuff we talk about, does a guy who's not, a guy that's raised money, made millions of dollars for promoters for the better part of 4 decades, is he not or she not entitled to some basic safety net in the year 2025? I happen to think they are entitled to that. That goes for Kamal and all the other people we've seen him talked about. It's heartbreaking, you know, and Sabu, and I'm sure most of the fans that knew him or heard stories about him, Sabu was a damn good guy. And I'll give you a real quick note on him and Sandman that solidifies that. When we were booking Hardcore Homecoming in 2005, of course the Candido death pops in, which was horrible. But the very first people I booked on that show were Sabu, Sandman, and Funk. Because I knew those were 3 must-haves. We had to have those 3 guys. A day or 2 later, I get a phone call from Sabu. And it's one of the heads up. Tommy, by the way, was working on booking Vince's show. What was it called? One Night Stand. And he said, Tommy's trying to undercut you. Offered them double the money to no-show our show. Now, why Tommy would do that, I mean, I'm sure he's beckoning to his lord and masters up there, but you're part of the family, bro. And, you know, you're going to kill the double payoff for these guys. And because those guys both, Sandman and Sabu, both said, no, we already gave Sam our word, that nixed it. That stopped it from that point forward, and everybody that wanted to work on both shows could work on both shows. That's a testament to the kind of man Sabu was, the kind of man that Sandman is, and I will be forever thankful to both of them for it.